Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. I have a special interview set up for y'all today with the National Weather Service, Milwaukee Sullivan. They have a piece of my heart forever, and I just say that because Tim's right here, and we've got to work with him before. We've got Tim Halbach from the National Weather Service, Milwaukee Sullivan. Tim, how you doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Hey, living the dream here, living the dream in Fitchburg. Not enjoying the
Or-
cold temperatures for April, but hey, what
I,
do you got?
I think you're probably the only person that is because everybody else has been sending their hate our way with wanting to change it and see the end at the light of the end of the tunnel with the cold. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon.
Bummer, and it's hard to
Right.
talk about when we're talking about severe weather awareness week when you got cold temperatures. But in all fairness, we've seen severe weather increase across the U.S. Every year, and my expectation this year is we're probably due up for just the same, if not different weather patterns, different things going on. What's kind of your early perspective going into this year?
Yeah. Well, so we this time of year is when we typically start talking about severe weather preparedness. You're thinking of going through winter weathers a little bit differently than when you have tornadoes, damaging winds, flash flooding, things like that. So we try to get people back in the mindset of, what are your plans for when severe weather occurs? And typically, we don't have a whole lot of severe weather that happens through March and early April. So we typically try to do this like mid-April so that we're at the beginning before we start seeing a lot more severe weather, which for us in Wisconsin, particularly southern Wisconsin, the peak is June, but May tends to have a big uptick. And even late April, we've had some pretty significant severe weather events. Sometimes it's the first severe weather event of the season that really could be the most dangerous. Like a couple of years ago, the Rochelle tornado down in northern Illinois, that was the first shot of severe weather for that area, and it ended up being the most damaging or worst severe weather that they had all year. So we try to get ahead of this and start talking about this kind of thing now. So while it might seem silly to start talking about this with snow on the ground, or at least we had some snow on the ground, this is when we start kind of you know dusting off our plans and all that for when that does occur.
Yeah, and I think you guys do a great job of setting this up. Usually, you've got the storm spotting stuff kind of comes out early, which is a good lead into this week. And what's the message that you're getting out this week as you go through each day?
Well, just there's three main parts to being ready for severe weather. The first part is just having a plan in place. So, talking about what's your shelter, where are you going to go when there's severe weather, when you're at work and when you're at home, at school, whatever it might be. So, having that figured out before you have severe weather is important, just knowing where a safe spot is. Then it's having a source for weather information so that you're getting alerted of hazardous weather. So, having an app on your phone that tells you whether or not you're in a warning, that's very important. Or having a weather radio from NOAA, watching your local TV and radio so that you're staying in tune to what the weather conditions are out there. And then the third step really is just to take action. When you get that warning, going to your shelter, seeking confirmation from there that there is a tornado that's coming, whatever it might be. That's the most important step because a lot of times the people that get injured or die from severe weather are the ones that do not take action. So those are really the three main things that we're trying to stress this year. We're using in our severe weather safety talks, Joplin. The Joplin tornado is our backdrop for that, and some of the reasons why people decided not to take action, and just to kind of throw that out there to people. Of some people had a tornado when they were young, so that's put them at higher edge to go and seek shelter when there is a tornado warning. There's other people that have never seen a tornado in their life, or they're kind of got an optimism bias that it can't happen to them. So there's different reasons why people don't act. So we talk about some of those things in the severe weather safety parts of our class this year.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the website right now, and there certainly has always been great resources at the Weather Service, and particularly pointing out the putting that plan together to being ready, no matter where you are, when it happens. Having that plan in place is huge. Let's change gears and talk about Thursday and the statewide tornado drill that's coming up. I
Sure.
loved when you guys switched to not only doing it during the day, but also doing another practice at night. What's been the response with doing that night one as well?
Well, it's more when you look at when severe weather actually occurs, it's much more likely to occur in that 5 to 7 or 8 p.m. time frame. So having an evening drill is much more of a simulation of when it could occur in real life. So doing that test at 6:45 is a good time for, if a lot of people aren't home, work's done, school's done, people are at home. What do you do in those situations if there is going to be severe weather? So the feedback we've received has been overwhelmingly positive in that regard. And that's something we've been doing for the past few years. We actually moved the time up about 10 minutes because we got some feedback that it was cutting off the last puzzle of Wheel of Fortune when we got the tornado warning then. So
Whoops.
we help those people out so that they get the puzzle in. Um, and we get our test in as well. So even if you're not getting the warnings, it's just a great time to be able to practice those plans.
Yeah, and what? Let's go through what that this test is going to look like on Thursday, the 12th. What do we got set up?
Yeah, so what'll happen is, well, ahead of time, we work with the state organizations that are part of the test to look at the forecast and just say whether or not we think severe weather is going to potentially happen on Thursday. If it does look like we're going to have that shot, then we'll postpone the test until Friday. Right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be an issue, so I think we'll be a go for Thursday. Going into Thursday, there'll be a test tornado watch or a mock tornado watch that gets issued at 1 p.m. from the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. Minnesota is actually doing the test at the exact same time that we are. So it'll be for us and them. Tornado warning, mock tornado warning goes out at 1:45. That all ends at 2 o'clock. And then the last part will be the 6:45 test or mock tornado warning in the evening. There will not be a watch with that one, and that will end at 7 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, and again, great for not only the weather service, but this is great again for local news organization. Anybody that wants to put that plan into action, this is your chance to do it. We're going to pick up on this interview tomorrow as part 2, and tomorrow's show is all dedicated to severe weather awareness.
Yeah.
It's my day.
I'm aware.
It's my day. Yeah. So we'll have that and more tomorrow, getting you ready for that mock tornado drill. It's time to practice.
Yep.
Plus, we're gonna have something special too. We'll tell you the details tomorrow.
Cool.
We didn't even tell you yet. I'll tell you in the break.
Can't wait to find out.
Yeah. All right. We need to go to break. We'll be right back. Wrap up the show next. It is Talking Fitchburg.